and welcome to Jabberjaw. I'm your host, Jessica Dawson Collier, and with me, as always, is Matthew David Smith and Tyson Wheeler Dynas. I switched it up because it's been 4 weeks.
Hi, guys.
How's it going, guys?
It's going pretty good.
Going pretty well.
Pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, my door's shut, but the cat's trying to get in here. He's a big fan of the podcast, but I tell him, like everybody else, you got to wait until you listen to it online, and you can't get into it, so.
It's better than my cat that just took a giant dump. So enjoy that, listeners.
Can you imagine that they've been working on smell-o-vision? Like, that's a thing that they're actually working on. To bring.
They've been promised that for years and never materializes.
Never.
I think it's good though, probably, because we watch a lot of cooking shows, and I mean, I can't even imagine how much hungrier I'd get, if there was the extra smell-o-vision thrown in there.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be bad.
That would be bad.
Yeah. Also, I don't know, like swamps aren't very fragrant, I would say. Positively fragment or you know what I mean. Anyway, I don't know. Good jokes, Tyson. Sorry, to the listeners at home, I might be sick, but I'm probably not. So I'm a little out of it, so just please forgive me. And if someone would send me a copy of the New American Bible, I would appreciate that. But
I feel like one of our listeners wants to do that, possibly.
I told my wife about it, and she goes, "If you fucking buy that," I'm like, "Honey," I said, "Honey, it'll be available for like $3 at half price books in like 6 months."
Every truck stop in America too. It'll be right next to the Conway Twitty cassette tape, the American Bible.
Yeah,
which, it's about time, isn't it? I mean,
it is.
Why haven't we done this years ago? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I thought the New American Bible was like the Book of Mormon, so I'm like way off base apparently. But I don't know. I haven't read anything about it. I just got that thing that you sent me, Dawson, and I was like,
It's lovely. It's lovely.
Have you read into it, Smith? Because I really haven't.
A little bit. Well, as you know, I'm on the mailing list, and so I was obviously as one of his tops. That would be last name you, comma first name fuck, or fuck you. And it's been going on for like 6 years now. They don't purge their mailing list.
Amazing.
Nor can they afford to. But yeah, no, it's a very lovely. Leather-bound Bible, encrusted. Is that the right word? Encrusted? I don't know. We're going to go with encrusted. With the embossed.
Oh, it's embossed. Oh, okay.
With a lovely American flag.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And AR-15 on the back. I don't know that that's true. That's the way I would have done it.
It's a fair assumption. Yeah.
$59.95. So a little pricey for a Bible. But you can't really put a price on Jesus.
No, you cannot.
Actually, I think Pontius Pilate did, but I'm not sure exactly.
That's actually true. We should adjust it for inflation. I believe it's $59.95.
And I think they used shekels back then. I'm not entirely sure, but I have to look that up.
Shekels. Shekels.
60 shekels for this nonsense. I go volt. Yeah,
but I love it because it goes back to the original grift of Paper Moon, which is a traveling Bible salesman.
True.
Like I love that. Like it's the original grift, and it's like he's just like God bless the man. Like there is no bottom.
There is no bottom.
We are the bottom. We are whatever sits at the bottom. The sentiment that
Now, wasn't Blue Moon was filmed where I'm pretty sure is that the one with the little girl and
Tatum O'Neal and her father Ryan O'Neal.
They filmed.
It was not good at it, I hear.
It's not, but I watched it because they filmed the jail scene in the basement.
The movie's great.
The Bible itself not so good.
The Bible itself not so good. Let's see the adaptation. Yeah. They filmed on Hayes. They filmed a few scenes, and was it in Waukene? Did they film too? Yeah,
they filmed the jail scene because there's an old jail, or at least there was at the time. The jail was in the basement of the city building, which I don't know if that was very forward-looking of them or very backward-looking of them. Considering how most elected officials go to jail now, maybe they're trying to cut out.
Right.
But I don't know.
Just
I have to get something. I'll be right back. 1 second.
All right, do it. Okay.
Oh, it's like God. Legislator timeout. I like that. It's like
it is very much so.
Like you timeout. Go to prison. At least
is
over
Tyson
lunch.
Like chasing the noise that he heard earlier. Oh, he's getting something.
Oh, he's retrieving. He's retrieving something.
We like to talk about Tyson doing things when he takes his headphones off.
No, we don't like.
And he's back.
Yeah, we don't let him know.
Yeah. That's fine. That's okay. Well, I mean, there is a reason that she's worried. I one time, Cards Against Humanity put out their own stuff called Clamo Maze, which is a clam.
I think I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
And anyway, they released a book called Clammy Dick by Herman Clamville. And then literally they just, anytime they can shove the word mayo or clam into any part of it, they just do. And then it's like, oh, well, there you go. So, I mean, my wife's not wrong to be worried that I would spend $60 on the American
She's
Pie.
Not. But I thought your heart was already set on the clown shoes and possibly getting a GoFundMe together for those.
It's true.
Is that still on the table?
It's still on the table. I'd like to wear them out. Be an interesting.
Oh my God, Tyson!
Like professional clown shoes.
Yeah.
It sounds ridiculous now that I said it out loud, but yeah.
No. The Trump sneakers.
Yes. Oh,
yeah, the sneaks. Yeah.
Oh, the sneaks. Yeah.
But you live in a pretty conservative neighborhood, correct?
Yeah.
Memory serves me.
That's true.
Correctly.
But I mean, I think, I don't know, because there's a small but strong contingency of sneakerheads out there. Who pay thousands of dollars of shoes. So I might get like a high five from, let's say an urban youth somewhere downtown, and they wouldn't know what I was there high fiving exactly. They're like, "Sweet shoes, dude." But maybe not. We'll find out.
I'm gonna let you find out if that's the reward you get for welding. Let's see. Know a little bit about downtown Kansas City.
Be careful at that time. Yeah.
I mean, look, I'm going to get a nice pair of shoes, maybe a compliment, probably a divorce filing. We'll just see what happens.
Gotta be the shoes.
Gotta be the shoes.
Gotta be the shoes.
Oh, that would be a great advertisement.
Yeah. But somebody brought, just goes more example I'm old. Somebody brought in a pair of signed Air Jordans to Antiques Roadshow on Monday night.
That hurts. How much did they go for? How much did they say they were worth?
They suggested. So the thing is, he never actually wore them in a game. So I guess that's part of it.
Okay.
And it was given to, he signed him and gave him to a guy who played with the Cavaliers, I think, and that guy worked with LSU, and then this kid got it for a graduation project for graduating LSU because he did. None of this matters. Anyway, my point is that if they could have the provenance, which is a word I hear a lot now, to prove that he wore those shoes, they'd be $250,000. But as is, just with the signature, $10,000 to $15,000 insured for $20,000. Still pretty good for a gift.
It's not bad. No?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have anything that nice in the house. My dog's worth a lot of money, I guess, technically. Yeah. What were we talking about? The Bible? Anyway.
All kinds of things.
And shoes.
Yeah, shoes.
Anyway, if you want to purchase this book, it's called Clammy Dick by Herman Clamville. And I think they only made 100 or 200 of them. So I figured, and I haven't even opened it.
You haven't even opened it. Are you going to open it?
No, because I made a promise to myself a long time ago that I would not read Moby Dick.
Why did you make that promise to yourself?
I don't know. It just sounds terrible. It just sounds terrible. And so I feel like
what other classics have you blacklisted from
That's what I'm saying.
Just like, did you make I will never read these books. I like this idea, actually. Things I will never do.
Yeah.
Reverse bucket list.
The classics.
Yeah, like, I mean, I won't read Dianetics, even though we had a copy at our house for some reason.
Okay.
I won't read Battlefield Earth, but I will watch the movie incessantly. I don't know. What of a... the last thing I banned for my life that I can think of is the remake of The Color Purple.
Really? You're not going to see it? Yeah. Okay.
No, and the reason is because it's not The Color Purple. It's a complete reimagination.
It's a reimagining. Yeah.
So call it something fucking else. It'd be like me releasing a movie called Star Wars, but not the Star Wars. But check out this. This one's about a guy who gets into a fight with a telescope or something.
Yeah.
Now, is this part of the lineage of these movies that they're doing a musical version of?
That's correct.
Did they also? This is a trend that I I'm going to go ahead and state right now. I will never watch a remake. Unless it's like, I don't know, something just like I don't know, even like Back to the Future, the musical, which I know is probably.
I would probably see that. But not The Color Purple. So, I'm not going to see that.
Yeah, or the Mean Girls one. I'm kind of tempted by the new Mean Girls one, but I just can't quite get there.
I watched it, and I had the same opinion about that movie that I do with all, musicals. Is that there's too much singing in it. I didn't enjoy that. but the talking and the lines were actually pretty cute. So, and a couple, there's a couple of good singers in there as well, but yeah, it was hard to finish, and I love that movie.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Yeah. So anyway, Hollywood, stop it.
Hollywood, cut it out. Well,
cut it out.
Yeah, I was going to save this for later, and I wasn't going to review it because I haven't listened to it yet. But I got this a tribute to Wes Anderson vinyl record called "I Saved Latin."
What?
Yeah, I knew you didn't know about this, or you would have told me.
Oh my God!
So here's some of the bands that are on it.
How much do you want for it?
Well, it was on sale for like $17 online, so you can find it.
I'm looking for it now.
It came with a Max Fleischer name tag.
Cool.
Wow. But some of the bands on here, Someone Still Loves You, Boris Yeltsin, one of my favorite bands. Matt Pond, Juliana Hatfield.
Nice.
Telekinesis, and Kristen Hirsch, Margaret and the Nuclear So-and-Sos, yada 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 yada. So yeah, and I can't tell if they're songs from his movies or just sort of an idea. Well, I guess they are from some movies. Margaret Yang's Theme is one of the names of the songs. So anyway, I'll send you some information when this is over.
Yeah. Send that to me. I'm okay. Totally distracted right now.
Sorry.
Amazing.
Yeah.
This is cool. Oh my God. Okay. I'm excited. Thank you. This is good.
And Matt.
Shit. They're all sold out on this. Okay. Sorry. Go on. Talk about yourselves.
All right. Don't worry. I can tell you where to find it. That'll probably be cheaper.
In the right direction. Yes.
Yeah. I got an email today from one of our little local used record stores that I've purchased some stuff at. And they have so much vinyl in backstock that they're like, just bring this coupon in and we'll give you $20 worth of free old records. So I think I might do that this weekend.
Holy shit.
That's fun.
Wow.
They said that they've actually had to fill their basement, which is, and I've been in their basement, it's huge. So they have so much stock that they're just like, we got to get rid of some of this stuff. So that's kind of fun. I mean,
that is kind of fun.
I mean, we talked about Huey Lewis online because you got a copy of Sports, right?
Yeah. That was one of the last records we bought in February, I think. Yeah.
And I got a copy of 4. The following record.
The following one, yeah.
For $6, and it sounds great.
Nice.
Yeah. So they have good stuff, and their prices aren't ridiculous. So
okay.
So I'll let you know how it goes. Seventh Heaven.
Yeah, send me that.
Used to be
Seventh Heaven.
One in Lawrence.
It absolutely did. Yeah.
No shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Where was
Love
that at?
Garden competition.
It was like 10th and Mass.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
it was big too, if I recall correctly.
Was it?
It was, and
yeah,
there's one in Salina, which I think is the mothership, and that's I can find almost any local Kansas band's stuff there because people would bring in their stuff and then forget to pick it up when it didn't sell. Consignment stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, Orlando was littered with Bring Back Joel records, and I totally forgot to pick up. But which is fine. I'll tell you something really sad. I just thought about this. We would sign, so we had CDs, and of course, we would just give them away because we want to get laid or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, so what we would do is we'd open the tray of the CD, and then on the inside where it's white behind the tray, we would sign it, and it'd be like, "Hey, thanks for listening," blah 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 blah. And then every time I would go to a used CD store, I would open it up, and nine out of 10 times it was somebody that we had, personalized the CD for.
Oh,
I was like,
that's lame, fuckers.
So you actually not only did you know that someone had did it, you knew that two had actually James, you asshole.
Yeah, I mean, first off, we signed it and we gave it away. So I mean, it's if you look up my back catalog online, you can find some stuff. Like a lot of stuff's worth like $40 or $50, and that's because we didn't. No one's bought them, so they're like, "Well, this must be worth something, right?" And it's not.
It's not.
Well, I mean, it's to me, but I'm certainly not paying $45 for a record I already own. That I made, by the way, I should point that out.
But, even to have the thrill that somebody spent $45 on your, even if it was you, that wouldn't give you a visceral
It would be, yeah. Even if
$45 last sale price, $45.
Yeah, if you go to this site discogs.com, which is
Oh yeah, and they've been around forever.
Yeah. If you look up Heroic Lane Change, you'll find like 2 or 3 owned a copy out of the thousands that we printed. Which is kind of funny too. So I like to do that. I like to go up and just see what's going on.
That's an unfortunate thing that there's no longer the sort of complimentary CD or cassette tape you are just given at a show. That was a huge thing, and
that was a big deal.
Could theoretically get you laid, and now nobody gets laid letting someone scan a QR code.
That is true.
It's the level of difficulty is increased, but
yeah, there are a couple South by Southwest. I'm pretty sure some people handing out QR codes are getting laid.
Well, that's South by Southwest.
Yeah.
But I still have my 5 or it's actually more than that. At the end of my CD collection, I just have all the random shit that I just picked up and have no idea where it came from, or but it's fun. Most of it's terrible.
It is fun to go through.
It is.
It is fun. Yeah.
I have a box of CDs of just bands that we played with, or bands that bands.
Oh, nice.
We
That's
promoted.
cool.
And my favorite one is this. It's just a CD. It was obviously printed at his house. He burned the CD. He bought the jewel case. He put it together himself. And for a year or two, I went every Wednesday night to play this acoustic place called Dante's, which became famous much later because it was the club in Orlando where the shooter came in and killed 39.
Oh, shit. Really?
Yeah, same place. Except, anyway, this guy sits down. And he's like, "I really like your stuff." I was like, "That is really nice. Thank you." And he's like, "Did you catch my set?" And I was like, "Yeah." I remember he sounded to me like Taylor, Sweet Dreams and Flying Machines, that guy, James Taylor.
Taylor.
And so he hands me this CD. He's like, "I really think you would like this." And I was like, "Well, thanks, man. I will take a listen to it on my way home." He goes, "So if you could just give me $5 or $6 for it."
There it is. Yeah.
And I was like,
"No way."
Yeah. Oh, after he gave it to me.
Wow. That's like the scam that the home the people give you on the street, and you're like, "You owe me $10 for that." Yeah, that's not that's not right.
Well, I played.
That's a good scam though.
Well, I play. Well, he invested time in it too, like 15 minutes. And towards the end, I was like, I host a radio music show in town on WTKS. If I like it, I'll play it. And he's like, yeah, that would be amazing. And it's just $6. Whatever.
Well, he's probably deservedly where he needs to be in the
needs to be at this point.
So.
Yeah.
Well, and he was trying, bless his heart. So
yeah, it's rock and roll
scams. I do love a good scam.
It
reminds me, like the last one that I saw up close and very personal was when we were in Venice last April, and we were in this giant area where there's just a shitload of tourists, and they had like at least 3 carts full of fake flowers set up, and you could see the guys going into the crowds, jamming fake flowers into people's hands, and then being like, pay up.
Yeah.
And so we had to go that way to get back to the train station and whatnot. And I literally had my hands in my pockets, like not making eye contact. There was a guy who was literally trying to jam a flower into like this area of where my forearm and bicep meet. And I'm like, get off me. Like, I don't want the flower. Like, it was bad. It was bad.
That is.
But I was like, hey, you got to make a buck, I guess, somehow, some way.
I guess that's pretty aggressive though.
It was very aggressive.
There was a guy downtown Indianapolis when I was living in that hotel, the Omni, forever, and this guy would walk around with like one of those tubs of like double bubble, like the big and he would like try to hand you, and I would literally every morning for like 6 weeks I ran into this dude, and he just like wanted to give me that, but I don't know what your game is, sir, but I know that you're not just the candy man handing out free double bubble.
Candy man.
Like, so but Tyson, that reminded me is we actually experienced a scam that I think Dave Crazy had told us about, which was the white van, the speaker van scam. Do you remember this?
Oh yeah, the unload out the back of the van.
Yeah. So, and I'm pretty sure I was with you because he had told us about this, and then it actually happened to us when we were out shopping. And literally, it would be these couple of guys like next to a white, pedo van, and like they'd have the doors open, there'd be some speakers, and they'd be like, "Oh, hey!" And I think like the scam was they're like, we're doing home theater installs, and like we bought this guy, like we ordered the wrong one, and they're like $4,000 speakers, and we'll give them to you for like $300, and of course they were like just the worst crap, knockoff speakers, but we actually happened to us once, and it was, I don't know, that was an interesting one. Apparently that was around for a long time.
That was at a mall, wasn't it? Didn't we go
I think so. I think it was like somewhere where we were.
Was this in Orlando?
Yeah,
this is in Orlando.
Okay.
Yeah, this is in Orlando.
Right. Yeah.
That van that fell off the truck, kind of a scam, it fell off a truck, i.e. I stole it out of the back of a truck. You're right. Somebody told us about that, and then we hit it like immediately.
Yeah, it was weird. It was great. Yeah. So don't fall for it, folks.
Avoid.
Google it. Make sure you're getting the good stuff.
You should just avoid white vans in general.
Yes, that's just a general good blanket policy to have, I think.
Yeah.
Nothing good, I guess, except for most things not good from a white van.
Most things.
Mostly. If you have an option not to, no.
Yeah. Now my white van.
Good advice.
We painted it to look like a bunch of idiots. We painted fish and bullshit on it. Made sure everyone knew that we were drug dealers in the town of Hays, Kansas, but we were not. We were just a band. And I remember asking my dad if I could do it, and he's like, "It's your van. I don't give a shit." And so we painted the whole thing or whatever. But then my favorite part about that van was it just had 2 seats in the front. We bought the van. I traded my car in to get this van so we could go to New York and record the record. And so 2 seats up front, wood paneling all along the back.
Nice. Yeah.
And here, the coup de grace was it had shag carpeting with 4 inches of foam underneath the shag carpeting.
What?
So it was so easy to sleep in that van if you were tired. Because you basically just snuggled up against the floor. Now, if somebody hit the brakes and all your fucking shit fell all over you, that was not great. And that only happened, 4 or 5 times. But but yeah, I don't know.
You were doing the camper van thing before it was popular. Way to go.
Yeah.
It's like going to Tyson's van, you'll fall asleep almost immediately.
Almost immediately.
Not the drugs though. There were no drugs.
Yeah, I knew the van before I knew Tyson. Like the van itself was a Hayes icon. Later, I think purchased by Bipolar and Levi.
That's right. And then
purchased the van from you.
And he painted it black, which I do not blame him for at all. But I actually interviewed Levi on Marshall's.
Yeah, I remember that.
Remember that? And he said he held on to it for a long damn time. Dawson, do you remember seeing a white van with like weird shit painted all over it?
Not in Hayes, America. In other places I've lived, yes, but no.
It would have literally been from like 1995 to 1997. So you may not have been out and about at the time. In Hayes, Kansas.
I think I missed it. I missed that moment. Yeah.
I found a picture of it finally. Beth had never seen one. I was like, oh yeah, I'm real proud of that. They painted something on the top of it too, which I thought was hilarious because only truck drivers could see the top of it.
That's true.
Like, whatever.
Send me that picture. Do you have it at the ready, or is it?
I do because
somewhere?
I looked it up for her to take a look at it. There's 3 pictures of the van that I know of, and there's 4, and 3 of them from when we were painting it, and then the 4th one was just a bunch of people standing around.
And this is probably just like a misnomer in my own mind, but I'm thinking it's like were there like flowers and like I'm trying to remember like what I'm curious to see how my recall of this.
I'll send it to you. There was like because there was one of us, maybe 2 of us with talent. The rest of us were just writing slogans on the thing, just writing weird slogans like, better music through bitterness. That was one of our slogans back then.
Yeah, oh my God. Nice.
Yeah. And if you're too close to this, fuck. If you're so close you can read this, fuck you. Something like that. I don't know. Anyway.
You're a menace.
I was a menace. Never got pulled over. You would think in Hayes, Kansas that
you would think, oh my God, you don't have to do anything in that town to get pulled over.
Pulled over. That's true.
Yeah. So the fact that I never got pulled over, I have no idea. No, but that's okay. I got pulled over lots in later times. So
made up for it. Oh shit.
Okay. What the hell?
You guys want to do some headlines?
Yeah, I'm so scatterbrained. Sorry, guys.
That's all right. We'll get you back on track.
What are you looking for, Tice?
I was trying to figure out which
little scavenger hunt.
I was trying to figure out what record I wanted to promote this week. I'll figure it out. It's fine.
Yeah. Right, here you go with. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Headline of the week.
Okay. It's been a minute. So this is from February 24th. Republican, see if you remember this special little magic. Republicans Trump try to contain backlash from Alabama. Fertility.
I like that. Let's rename it.
I just thought that was so funny. They got what they wanted, all the conservatives, and then everyone was like, "Whoa."
Yeah.
Sorry about the.
I know.
That was a bad deal. Not very smart.
Let's
see. I thought this was odd. I don't know who this person is. Alyssa Farah Griffin. Are you familiar with her?
No.
I don't think so.
Now, she is she's the new Republican on The View. You know that they have swapped the Republicans out every once in a while?
Did they finally get rid of Meghan McCain? Is that what happened? Or did she leave?
She quit, didn't she?
Yeah, she
okay, she quit.
Yeah, because, whatever. Just like her father, she was a warrior. I don't like it here. I quit. From Entertainment. This is from Entertainment Weekly, and this was in the middle of that sperm zygote thing, And so the headline is The View removes Alyssa Farah Griffin sperm, quote, face cream, unquote, quote from episode. So basically, the Republican co-host said sperm can be used, quote, as a nice face cream during Friday's live telecast, which they scrubbed out of the Hulu and social media options of everything. So, just what I'm telling you. You know, they're Republicans. They're dirty in bed. That's all I'm saying.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. But I did think it was pretty funny because hasn't that myth been around forever? You know, like no, it's good for your skin. Yeah, don't worry about it. Just take it in the face.
I think I may have heard that in the past, but yeah, it's one of those things you don't say it on the morning show.
No, no.
Even if you are that repressed, it's it's like, did you know? That's exactly how I hear it. Did you know? And then
did you know? Yeah.
Did you know that? Yeah.
I think Dawson actually shared this with me, and I have a story that goes along with it. This is from Variety. AMC theaters to release 3 new Nicole Kidman-led ads.
Yeah.
So I went to see.
I loved it. I laughed so hard when I saw that. I was like, Tyson is so pissed.
I am so good. I've got this figured out, and this is throwing me off my whole game. But if you go to an AMC theater, they show all the trailers, and then they go, by the way, you can get some soda and things at the thing. And every time that happens, I get up with my soda and I leave. And then by the time I get back, I have just missed the Nicole thing.
You've timed it just right.
And I have done it, and I have done it from as far like the furthest possible point away. But people are amazed by it. I mean, like I was sitting next to a guy who I never met, and when I came back to sit down, he kind of looked at me.
How did you do that?
Yeah, he's like, I don't really like these Nicole Kidman ads. So, and a friend of mine went and saw Madam Web, which we'll get into later, and he was like, "That was perfect. You perfectly timed it." And I'm like, "Yeah, what can I say? I really hate that commercial."
I have a gift. That is fucking funny, Tyson.
It's like Fonzie's jukebox. That's great. Watch this.
I will say that our Dawson bought me a pin of like a little lapel pin.
Do you still have it, or did you throw it away? Excellent.
Come on.
It's a great pin. I mean, it's perfect.
It is. It's
very colorful.
It is colorful, and it actually looks a lot like.
It looks like Nicole Kidman. Like it's exactly that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah. So
needs to go on a jean jacket, actually, Tice, when you go to your next movie.
So the problem though is that they have screwed these things up because her thing was, I think, 45 seconds long, and it threw me off first time. But when you go and see a movie now in the theater, and if it's kind of a lower thing movie, they have 15 like dun 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 Universal dun 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 cut and paste movies dun dun dun. You know how they do all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that always saves me in the end. But yeah, I've really worked well. I didn't work hard at it, but I just had a hunch that I could get back in time. And
are you still doing like the AMC Pass thing? Do you do that? You're doing that for a while,
yeah. I mean, it's $19.99 a month, so if you go to one movie, it pays for itself.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
So and it also makes me go and see movies that are very strange that I normally wouldn't, which I'll get into that in a little bit. Here's my next headline. This is from Vermont's own WCAX Action 3 television news site. VTSU Leiden offers Weird Al class. So, some VTSU Leiden, which I assume is a subsidiary of either their main Vermont university, or it's like, a branch of one of their smaller community colleges. Anyway, the guy that teaches it has been like Weird Al's engineer for like 25 years.
Oh, no way. That's cool.
Whoa.
Yeah. And so like people say it's a really fun show or class to take. Somebody mentioned that Harvard has Taylor Swift, so Vermont has Weird Al Yankovic, which I thought was pretty good. Yeah, and you can do it, and it's open. Okay, class will start in the fall, and you don't have to be enrolled to take it. You can just sign up. So that's also awesome.
That's very cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, so it'd be nice to audit that online, as long as I didn't have to watch it. Okay, so I have two more, and unfortunately, I don't have a link for this because I read it on Dig, and then when I tried to find the link, it was gone. So I'm just going to read this to you. An Argentine man, fed up with his neighbor blasting reggaeton, which is a form of music, okay? Reggaeton, in the morning, has invented a machine to silence the music whenever it plays. According to El País, Ron Bandini created an AI-powered device that detects reggaeton and interferes with Bluetooth speakers, playing it until the music stops. The invention named
wow.
Yeah, the invention named Reggaeton Be Gone.
That is some hate. Wow.
Yeah, can identify thousands of songs in the genre and silence them via signal interference. He said he has since shared his tutorial on how to make it, demo, and the code for his now viral creation. And he also is offering workshops. The use of frequency jammers like Reggaeton Be Gone is banned in many countries around the world. So Bandini's invention does raise a few ethical and legal questions. Quote from the man himself, he says, "Before you say anything, I totally understand that interfering with a neighbor's speakers could be illegal," he commented. "But on the other hand, listening to reggaeton every day at 9 a.m. should definitely be illegal."
I like appreciate the fact he started with reggae. Like he was I'm gonna invent some shit. Like this is so bad. Like I gotta get out my soldering iron. And wow, that's actually very fascinating.
Would it be awesome though if you had an app on your phone that you could turn people's radios down and like in the car next to you, like while you're waiting in line or something, or like at the stoplight? That would be amazing.
Yes, it would. I would get that for sure.
Had some fun with it anyway.
Yeah.
And finally, this is also from Dig. I can't remember exactly where it came from. Oh, it came from The Hill, I think. So a man named literally anybody else is now running for president in Texas. The Army veteran said his goal was to convey the sentiment of many voters who simply don't want to vote for either Trump or Biden. So basically, he changed his name to literally anybody else and then ran for president. He's running for president in Texas.
Wow.
So to be fair, good for him, right? I mean that's quite a move.
He did steal this idea from Monty Brewster from Brewster's Millions, as I recall, who ran as none of the above.
You are right.
Shit.
I think so. But good for him, though. It's good to recycle, the theme of '80s comedies, especially in something so important to our democracy.
I'll be the first to line up and say that I love Brewster's Million. I love that movie.
It's a great film.
You know what's weird is I was going through one of my great grandmother's books she had in the basement, and that book was written in like 1905.
No way, really?
Yeah,
like the original is based on. Wow.
Yeah, it's really old. So I never read it because it smelled like the flood had happened in the basement. Like the biblical flood,
mold.
Flood of '58.
Yeah, but apparently it's a classic. So thought that was pretty cool. And is that next.
Very good.
Love it. Smith, what do you got?
Full disclosure, I had to kind of rush to find my headlines. I had a couple on my phone, but God forbid I read the article. So it's mostly about the headline in these cases, but there's not a lot of substance here, I think is what I'm trying to say. But
I get that. Yeah.
Anyway, we'll get this started. So this one was just I had to reread the headline a couple times. This is from a couple weeks ago. Kansas will pay $1 million over the murder of a 7-year-old boy whose body was fed to pigs.
Ooh.
Yeah, real bad. Apparently real bad child abuse case where.
Oh my God.
Awful stuff. And it makes me sad that the state of Kansas allowed that to happen.
Jesus.
What are you going to do? You got to make cutbacks somewhere, right?
Right. You want a new Royal Stadium, and you want your kids not to get eaten by pigs.
Right.
What do you want?
Exactly. Yeah. But that's a rough one. Just a terrible,
yeah,
terrible story.
That really is.
I started with that one just because it was by far the most caustic and troubling. So everything else from here is just sunshine and hand jobs.
Nowhere to go but
all
up.
Right. Next one. Again, great headline from the Washington Post a couple weeks ago. A cat fell into a vat of toxic chemicals and walked away. A city is on alert.
Whoa.
So apparently. Did you see this, Tyson? Yeah, apparently, I think it was in Tokyo or something, and just like Toxic Avenger only in feline form.
Exactly.
Great idea for a film. If somebody doesn't run with that, I think I will.
They did have. I don't know if you saw this, but they did have footage of the cat like scampering out of the parking lot.
Yeah, I did see. Yeah, like
holy shit.
I felt sorry for that cat. That sucks. It should have. They said it would have killed the cat, a normal cat. Immediately. But now it's a super cat.
No, now it's just a mutant cat.
Amazing.
So fun stuff for the world every week. This one, little local Indianapolis action. Shooting suspects identified by the music video they filmed inside an East Indy gas station. So they were filming a video inside the gas station, and they shot someone. But they also captured the shooting. So again, another what do we call
brilliant
it? Bright star.
Yep.
Shooting star rather, number one with a bullet.
Hey! I had not heard that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it just happened. Yeah,
that is nuts. That is fucking
every month. There's like Ryan Glendick pointed this out to me like years ago. He's like, just some random weird ass shit happens in Indianapolis, and it does. It's like micro Florida. I mean, it's not that crazy, but it's like.
I have watched a few true crime documentary series lately that are based in Indiana. Yeah, very close to Indianapolis. Watch your back, buddy. Yeah,
well, I'm cautious. Keeping an eye out.
I think when I was leaving, when I was staying in Columbus, working there, and I came to see Beth and you. On the way out of town, they were talking about this house in the suburbs that had a chimp that escaped.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? And they're like, we're looking for a chimp. He's 3'4". It's like has a chimp-like body and face. It was really weird. But apparently they seized the house and they had like tigers and all this kinds of shit that they should not have.
People get up to some crazy. That's probably on the south side. If I had to bet, now it sounds like a south side thing. I know. I hate to generalize.
You elitist bastard.
Exactly. This one is from the San Francisco Gate a few days ago. Donald Trump is broke. Ha ha ha. So if you haven't, we haven't really talked about this at all, but the bond came due for the $400 and something million that he owes a couple of litigants, and apparently I think they knocked that down on Monday to like $1,030,000 or something.
Yeah.
So that's probably a little more plausible, but.
Well, and then Truth Social went public, right? And whole fucking thing.
And so they valued if this is just if you're worried about the sanity of the stock market right now, the fact that Truth Social is worth $3.6 billion should concern you greatly.
When it's only made $5 million in 3 years?
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. I mean, it's insanity. I mean,
it's fucking nuts.
Nothing is real. Nothing is real. $3.6 billion for Truth Social, and so
insane.
I don't know.
Insane.
I'm sure we'll be fine.
I'd rather put my money in Netscape personally, but that's just me.
That's fair.
I think at this point it's fair to say that the next game, it's a little behind, but I think it's going to win the browser wars. I think it's the de facto browser going into the 22nd century.
Well, can I just mention one weird thing about that? About Truth Social? So, I have to use Bing to test all the time because I'm, a software tester. Yeah. And it has become Fox News. It is literally like all the headlines are they're just like, there's a dead body and living inside Joe Biden's body. I mean, it's just all weird, and it's really gotten strange. And I was talking to Beth about it, and she's like, is that because they don't know where else to look for news? I'm like, that's very likely. That's what's happening, actually.
Yeah.
If you still use Microsoft Exploder, as my ex-CTO used to call it, you don't. You're probably one of those people that's not really searching for the news, but yeah, that's very strange.
I pity those who get their news source from Bing. That's
that's a rough go at it. Yeah, sad.
My Amazon, I've got the Amazon Alexa show thing that gets news head. Same deal, the dumbest I don't know, but there must be something to that. They just make for good, digestible they're not big stories. They're just crap.
They're just little snippets of something that sounds salacious, and it's
right.
But then everybody forgave each other and they went home. It's like, why you?
Nobody wants to talk about the Middle East, or nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants that update. I want to. Last one. This is from a few days ago. Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb issues emergency response order to prepare for the solar eclipse. So I don't know if you guys knew, but we are in the path of totality. It's the biggest thing to happen to the city since the Indy 500.
We're driving to Arkansas to see it.
Are you really? Nice.
Yeah, nice.
Because after the last one a couple of years ago, it was so much. It was so weird and surreal, and because everything gets dark and it's really creepy. And I understand why people thought gods were doing that to punish people, because it is strange. But
I think we're both looking forward to we're gonna Kathy's got a little reservoir near where she lives, and so we're gonna go down there, and we're actually very curious to see what the hell the animals do,
oh, for sure,
birds and because it'll be really interesting to watch that. But I will say though, I heard this thing on NPR. If you are thinking about observing it, I hadn't thought about this, but there are sort of degrees of totality. And so there's some locations where it's 99%, totality or 98%. They were saying they're you're not going to get the effect even with 99% because they're it's the freaking sun and it's really bright. And so even 1% of the sun, it's still going to look like partially daylight. So we're looking forward to it. They're saying, hundreds of thousands of people are going to descend on Indianapolis for this. So it's going to be really interesting to see with all the crowds and everything and the traffic and, it should be interesting. But something finally got him to go to Indianapolis, and it's weird astrological astrological event.
Astrological.
Astrology event. I think it's astrology something. I don't know. But no, it's going to be. We're looking forward to it. It's April 8th, I think.
Yeah, April 8th.
Yeah.
Fine.
Have you seen one before? Exciting. Did you guys catch the last one?
Saw the one in 2019, 2018.
Yeah, 2018. Something like that. We caught that. when we were in Austin, barely.
Yeah,
we drove to Atchison, Kansas, and it was pretty neat, actually.
Yes. I don't think it's going to happen again for another 30 years or so. It's going to be
Is that what they've said? Yeah,
something like that. It's going to be a while. So it's probably our last chance to see the glory of the sun disappearing in the middle of the
How do you take it in again? You stare up at it? Is that how
actually, yes. Actually, you don't want to obstruct your vision with anything. So eyeglasses you don't want to wear. Because you really want the intensity of that sun. As our former president showed us.
Yes, that former guy. Whatever happened to him?
Directly into the sun. Oh, he's still kicking around, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, don't stare at the. Yeah, no, they're selling those everywhere. Oh my God, there's freaking T-shirts and like themed snacks, and it's
oh my god, really?
I love it. I love it. Yeah. I love that. Like people can get behind this. Like this is
it gets pretty wild.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems pretty ominous, and I wonder if some weird shit's gonna happen. I'm hoping so. I'm hoping I don't know.
We were right in the totality of it, and it literally like made everything dark. It was weird. I have a video of
that. That's so crazy.
Yeah,
that is crazy.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I get it. I see why people were freaked out by this. 200, 300, 500 years ago, whenever it was, because it does seem like something's wrong, something's off.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
It's like a Facebook.
We should be concerned. Yeah.
Right.
Same panic. Yeah. Same panic. Oh God. We continue. So that's my headlines.
I do want to.
Well done.
I do want to just touch on one thing. I have a little headline news specifically about Matt. Because I got another list, an email of everything that he's watching on Plex.
I think this should be a recurrent series. I really do. I don't know. I don't. So that.
Oh my God!
Do your worst, Tyson.
All right. Well, okay. Some of these, so you watch Goodfellas. That's great. You watched War Games, which is no surprise whatsoever.
Yeah, it's a weekly viewing of War Games. It's like
You watched American Fiction.
Very excellent film.
Excellent film. Looks good.
Free plug for that. Yeah.
Zone of Interest. You watched. Here's where it starts to get a little dicey, but more Smithy.
Very
good. From the Hip, starring Judd Nelson, I believe. Is that right?
Great film. Judd Nelson, young attorney. 1986, I believe.
He's got a bone in his mouth. Rich Hill, which I don't know anything about that.
It's a fantastic documentary about kind of the economic struggles in Missouri. It's actually a really good documentary.
Oh
okay.
Check that out.
King Jack, which I don't know. Just One of the Guys. That is a Matt Smith certified.
Excellent
classic.
Film.
Double stamped.
And Billy Zabka as a bully in that film, which is
yeah. And the best tit revealing shot of my young childhood, right?
That's very true. Matt. I still remember watching it on my grandparents' 13-inch black and white TV because they got HBO, and that's like what I just used to watch HBO constantly. Because we didn't get it at home, and so I got to see fun films like Just One of the Guys when I was 7 years old.
Yes, it's not. Have you seen Just One of the Guys, Dawson? This is
no. I've never seen it. Apparently, I'm missing out.
It's super high concept. Let me just see if I can figure this out in a few words. Somebody who's a college student in journalism, maybe, or she already graduated. I can't remember. Anyway, she goes undercover as a man in high school, and then tries to give some guy dating tips. I can't remember exactly why.
Holy shit.
But anyway, there's a point where he's like, "You're not a woman. I don't believe you." And then she unzips her jacket, and there they were. It's gorgeous. It was a very special moment for a young man in the 80s.
It was.
Caminos Violentos, Iron Eagle. That is a very classic Matt's. Nothing. Me too, to be fair. The Burbs, one of my favorite movies of all time.
It's a great movie.
Hot Pursuit. I don't think I've seen that.
Good film.
Good film. The Iron Claw, Friday Night Lights, Dog Pound, Airborne. Yeah, I don't know why I get these things, Matt.
I like that someone does. I need to be held accountable a little bit. I think that a little accountability on my end for my viewing habits is warranted.
But you did watch Devil Dog though, so
I did watch Devil Dog. Yes,
nice.
And excellent. You were absolutely correct. Is that dog is the most unthreatening thing in the world? It's just like it's just like a nice dog, and they'll intercut it with like Satan, like it's
pictures,
weird,
cartoons,
weird,
and then they cut into the dog, and the dog is like, I'm a well-behaved dog. Thank you very much.
It's a weird movie. And for being made for TV, what was it, like late 70s, like 78, 79?
It was 78, yeah. It came out made for TV.
They were making some heavy shit in the late 70s, early 80s for made for TV movies. That is gorgeous
now,
cover art
I want you to look at that dog's mouth. Now, if you're watching this, that dog never opened its mouth at all.
Absolutely not.
Teeth. Not a moment of it.
No, most unthreatening, nicest devil dog I've ever seen.
You would kill for a dog that's so well behaved. Even if you had to take Satan into your life, you'd be like, "Well, that dog's coming, right?"
It would be completely worth it to accept Satan into your soul. For that adorable, non-demonic dog. Got a bad rap, I think.
I think so too. That dog,
they have maligned that dog, and I don't agree with it. Won't have it.
All right, sorry. Go ahead, Dawson. I get these. I
like this. This is a new segment. This is happening. All right, I'm just gonna blow through these. Well, I'm gonna spend a little time on this first one, and then I'm just gonna read the headline and a couple things. This is from the Independent. I think this happened at literally the tail end of February. West Virginia's last Hooters is being torn down. Locals are planning a candlelit vigil, complete with wings. This article is fucking hilarious. Everybody should look it up and read it because it's just really funny what people were saying about the Hooters that was getting torn down.
Absolutely.
They even had a Facebook graphic that someone put together that said "Rest in peace." ... Hooters. That was really funny. And then there was just a ton of comments of people telling these random stories. There was one person that was quoted as saying, "I once saw a dude snort a line of black pepper on a dare at that Hooters. R.I.P." Oh, it's great. Wow. It's great. It's well worth your time. So R.I.P. to that Hooters.
Actually, the way, it's so funny what brings the community together. And
it really is. Yeah.
I actually really...
Boobies and wings. Yeah.
Sweet.
Oh, yeah, very sweet.
I'm not going to interrupt your flow, but remind me to tell you my weirdest Hooters story later. Anyway, go ahead.
No, tell it now. We're in the moment.
We got time. We got 57 minutes. We got maybe 2 or 3 Hooters stories worth of.
I do not have a Hooters story.
I know.
Really.
I don't think I do either.
So. I know Matt and I used to joke about that was our retirement job. We were both going to start a Hooters franchise.
Yes, you guys have talked about that. Yes,
creepy old dudes. So there's a Hooters that's very close to my house, and Beth doesn't really I love their wing sauce. I admit. So I am a wing connoisseur. I like their wings. Anyway.
So I like Hooters for the articles. Yeah.
I know. Norman Mailer's latest, fucking. Anyway, so anyway, there was a girl there that I think was in one of the Hooters catalogs. She was very attractive, but not the nicest person in the world. Didn't matter. I never really wanted her to wait on me because she was too hot to be working at. I don't know what her thing was, but anyway, a couple times I ate there, a very elderly man would come in and sit at a booth, and because I always sat at a booth, and he would sit at the booth behind me, and I was like, oh, and everyone was really nice to him. I was like, oh, he must be the owner or something,
right.
or he's just super rich or something. I have no idea what was going on. So anyway, I was sitting there one day, and that very attractive Hooters waitress came over to his booth and then started hula hooping with a hula hoop for 10 minutes just so he could watch her shake her hips around. I'm not kidding. It happened twice. All right.
Gross. So, what?
I know. I was like,
that is uncomfortable.
Well, I was like,
was there
let alone
being
music?
No music. It was.
Oh my god.
Sports were on the television. There was no music, and she would just do it, and then and then she would stop, and then he would thank her.
That is weird.
Isn't that weird?
Is so
very
weird.
Yeah.
That is very weird.
And first time I saw it, I was like, "Oh, this must be like some weird birthday thing." And second,
must be his birthday.
Yeah. Because I was actually at a Hooters during a child's birthday party. Did I tell you guys about that one?
Oh no!
That's
terrible.
Well,
that is terrible.
My boss Sean and I used to go to Hooters in Topeka because we worked at the Capitol, and we both loved wings.
It happened in Topeka. Okay, that makes sense.
This one happened in Topeka. The other one happened in Kansas City. Anyway, I was there, and a gaggle of 10-year-olds, that's the correct term, gaggle,
sure,
came in and then had their birthday party. There was a little cake. All the waitresses came out and sang happy birthday and then posed with the kids, and I was just like, what is going on here? Like, I mean, I love wings. I get it, but not when I'm 10, like I don't, so I have no idea. But they promote birthday parties for children.
Was it put on by like a single dad that was just like, oh shit, it's a kid's birthday tomorrow, we gotta...
Both parents?
Okay.
There was a couple of people that I assume they were parents. Maybe they were, divorced and recoupled or whatever. But yeah, that was the other weird thing that I saw at Hooters. I thought that was very strange. Not as weird as the hula hoop story, but...
The hula hooping is odd in any sort of... Yeah, that's...
That's something.
It's so weird. I can't get my wife. It's so weird that I can't get my wife to go with me to Hooters. I don't understand. She fucking hates it. And I'm like the wings
I would love to hear Beth go off on Hooters at some point.
I'll ask her to record her response, and then I'll send it to you guys. We can have, because she's about 2 months behind on this, so she's catching up slowly, which is weird because then, how we talk about something like 3 months ago, and then she's like, "What was going on with this?" And I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking?"
I do not remember.
I do not know.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, I totally interrupted your flow. Go ahead.
No, it's okay.
No, you're good.
Always welcome a Hooters detour.
Yeah, we got it. You have to when you're talking about Hooters.
Get that off ramp.
God damn it! I just thought of one more. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
I was eating at the Hooters in Topeka, and I was by myself, and Hooters waitresses make a point to come and sit and talk to you. Like, so you'll tip them.
Oh, that's a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, like they'll make a point or whatever. And And I was just watching, like, I talked to her a little bit. It's just, she was nice. She wasn't, whatever. It was like talking to a waitress. Anyway, up on the TV, there's this fishing show where people are out, like, but it's a newfangled fishing show. It had all of the Ted Nugent guitar licks and, and it was like flashy editing and all this stuff. And then they had like these bikini model ladies going out on the fishing boats with them. And I was talking to her and I was like, "Are you familiar with this? Isn't this weird?" And she's like, "Oh no, I was on one of those episodes." And I was like, "Really?" And she's like, "Yeah, they flew me down to Oklahoma City, which was so nice."
Oh, of course.
and then they, we just spent a day out there. Everybody was super nice, and I got paid for, not a lot, but it's because I'm an amateur model, but blah blah blah. So I guess that's the third weirdest one.
Ooh,
there also was a picture in that Hooters I remember very, very, very much. Do you guys remember Sergeant Slaughter, the wrestler / GI character?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, there was a picture of him surrounded by Hooters waitresses from the 80s, which I like. If it hadn't,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I have a picture of it, but if it hadn't been nailed to the wall, I would have probably stolen it. So, okay, sorry. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, there was actually. This reminds me of something funny. Smith, do you remember when we went to when everybody went to Austin? You, me, and Glassman.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And we took you to that bar where the waitresses wear really short shorts and their tits are hanging out, and there's just like boobies all over the place, and like Smith was so uncomfortable the whole time, and we just kept pushing him to talk to the waitress, order nachos from the waitress. He would not make eye contact because he's such a nice guy. Like, he literally, like, he's not that guy that goes there for the boobies at all. He's just like, I'm hungry, let's eat.
Yep.
We were like, let's take him there. Sorry about that. It was funny. I hope the nachos were good, but all of this reminded me of that. Yeah.
I appreciate that I didn't come across as a creep. Not
at all. Never, ever.
Just a terrified little boy.
You were very terrified.
It's that
You're
trick.
very polite. We were awful. Yes.
Eat my nachos in peace. I don't need this cleavage. No.
Well, they wear those
dedication to the craft.
They wear those like leggings and like arm thing, you know, like you get. I mean, they're more covered than the average citizen. You know, the waitresses are. You know, like
at Hooters.
Oh yeah,
I haven't honestly been to one in like.
They have to wear these pantyhose that are skin colored.
Probably 15 years. Yeah. Okay.
And I mean their cleavage is available. You know, for I guess waging, but everything else is just covered up, and I was like, anyway, yeah. Well,
it's tasteful, I guess.
I can tell you, Matt never acted that way when we went to Hooters. I'll tell you that.
That's right.
God damn it, Tice. All right, moving on. Christ, no one has ever talked about Hooters so much on a podcast ever.
A lot of Hooters coverage.
All right. All right. Just a couple of things that were missed, which I'm sure people saw. Lauren Boebert, her son, got arrested on 22 felony misdemeanor charges.
I missed that. Wow.
Yay!
Were they
that's fun. He was wearing the rifle, whatever, their restaurant hoodie when he was he had stolen credit cards and was going to gas stations with his friends and like stealing stuff. That's as far as I read.
So that's so this mastermind genius put the business that he's associated with. Yeah,
and in it, like Lauren Boebert's whole thing in it is really funny because she's like, she makes it a point to say he's an adult and a father and he's 18. And I'm like, God, you fucked up. Like, seriously, woman. She's just like, it breaks my heart. You know, just it is the funniest thing. Her whole response to it is really great. Had
done some titty play at Beetlejuice, she'd be more okay with
it. What a role model.
He does make reference to him being in the public eye, you know, against his will. So I'm like, well, you had a hand in that. Job.
So to speak.
She done that.
And then this one is a heartwarming one. For the first time ever, 2 humpback whales have been documented having gay sex. Yeah. Don't know if you guys saw that, but it's a beautiful moment in the ocean.
It gets
hard to make out the detail of what was going on at the time, but I did catch it.
It's lonely out in the ocean, guys.
It is lonely in the ocean.
Yeah. You got to find a piece where you can get it. So
that
isn't a piece of plastic. Nice. Yeah.
I like that. It's a good story.
Yeah, that is a good story.
Good story.
Yeah. And then that's it. Those are the headlines.
It's all that happened.
That's all.
That's it.
That's all.
Nothing
else we care to talk about anyway.
Yeah.
Oh shit! There is one more. R.I.P. Richard Lewis, who passed away at 76. Yeah. That was a bummer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Funny guy.
Yeah. That was a bummer.
Been watching Curb, and man, he's just the fucking best in that. Other than Larry David. And JB Smoove. I love JB.
Oh yeah.
And Tracy Ullman. Fucking like
she's been great.
She's so good. So good. Yeah.
I'll have to admit, I was like 3 episodes in before I realized that was Tracy Ullman. I was like, "Oh shit!" And I like that took me a bit, but I was like,
"So good at that." Yep.
Yeah.
All right, you guys want to plug? You got like 5,000 plugs.
Got a couple.
I got 2.
All right, let's do it.
You, the ice cream manufacturer. You, the frozen food distributor. And you, the food retailer. Stand today in the midst of a selling revolution. For today, you're in a merchandising era of self-service, where display and accessibility are the key to successful merchandising. Yes, today's problem is merchandising. To sell in high volume for high profits, frozen products are impulse items. And impulse buying is primarily an emotional decision.
So I'm going to start with this movie called Sharper, which had such a low impact in my brain and my wife's brain that neither one of us can remember how the movie ended. We kind of remember how it started, but we have no idea how it ended. So you can probably skip Sharper if that's. I'll save that one for last. We watched Argyle.
Oh, how was that? God damn it! I knew it.
You know what? It's just a little much. But yeah, I don't know. It's a good idea. It was a good idea. They just didn't quite pull it off. But it's worth watching. A lot of good stunts. It's not Guy Ritchie that directed it, is he? Or is it? I don't think it's Guy
I can't
Ritchie.
remember who directed it. Producers.
It's the guy who did like Wanted and he did The Kingsman. He did all those movies.
Okay.
So I mean, it looks like one of his movies.
Matthew Vaughn.
That's it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it looks like one of his movies.
Okay.
And it's all right. I got a couple good laughs. And every movie that he makes now apparently has to have Samuel Jackson in it, and so that's always fun too.
I like Sam.
We watched Poor Things, which is excellent.
Yes.
It was a lot funnier than I was expecting based on some of the based on some of the other previous movies this guy's done. Like The Lobster and I can't remember the other one. But
The Killing of a Sacred Deer. Didn't he do that too?
I don't know. He did one where like Emma Stone was like in the
The Favorite.
The Favorite, yeah, which was
that was good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, if you get a chance to watch Poor Things, it's weird, but I mean, it's actually quite entertaining. That's so. Don't read anything about it. Actually, it doesn't matter. You can't really describe the plot. It doesn't make any sense. If people try to blurb it out, it doesn't matter.
Well, it's kind of. I won't. I might ruin something because it's a plug of mine too. Okay. I don't think it's ruining it. But
probably not. Hey, this is what they have to deal with if they want to listen to this podcast. There may
exactly. There's going to be some spoilers. Plug your ears. Fast forward. I don't give a shit.
The best movie I've seen in a while. It's called Late Night with the Devil.
Oh yeah.
I came in. I try to do this with movies. I try to come in cold. So like I saw on Rotten Tomatoes that it had 100%, and then I went to the not the critics review or the audience review, but just like the first sentence of what the movie was supposed to be about in the synopsis, and I was like, nope, stop reading. I'm just gonna go see it. And if you can come in cold, you got to watch this movie. I think you asked Dawson if it was based on a true story.
Yes.
There's a lot. I'm not sure, but I feel like there's a lot of red herrings that are being tossed around before people even see it, so they don't know what to expect. But it is actually really, really interesting and also really good. And a little scary because theoretically it's a horror movie kind of, but it's more of a cult movie. It's there is a devil in it though. So anyway, if you get a chance to watch it, definitely watch it. Don't watch a trailer. Don't read up on it. Just see Late Night with the Devil.
Yeah, I want to see it.
And then finally, my friend and I went and saw Madam Web.
Yes.
In IMAX. Do you guys know what a Dutch angle is?
No.
I think I remember the phrase, but don't remember the meaning.
I know what a Dutch oven is.
Well, this is kind of as bad.
Thanks, Glassman, you fucking dick.
So a Dutch angle is when they take a camera shot and then they kind of tilt it like by 45 degrees. So it's like
okay.
So in the screen, the person's standing straight, but the background and the foreground are kind of like on this 45-degree angle.
Okay.
If you've ever seen an episode of the original Batman.
Yeah.
TV show.
Sure, yeah,
for sure.
You know how they always did those shots where it was like a little off. That's a Dutch angle. So there's a little bit of a thing that I've figured out that the more Dutch angles used in a superhero movie, the worse the movie is. And this movie is filled with Dutch. I mean, I'm surprised the Dutch don't own this fucking film. And it's, my friend liked it. He's like, well, I don't know anything about Madam Web, but I kind of like this other stuff. And he was like, well, he's like, I'd never heard of her. They explained her origin story very well, even though it's contrived as shit. But the problem with anyway, you should watch. Nah, you shouldn't watch it. But if you're gonna watch it, I'll give you a little piece of advice. Don't worry about logic, really. I mean, just try to enjoy it for what it is, which is a Spider-Man movie without Spider-Man. Because there's these 3 girls that in the future will become Spider Women, and they're all from the comic books, but you only see them in like 2 scenes, just barely, because everything takes place in the past. And the other big problem with the movie is that Madam Web doesn't really have superpowers, so it's really hard to get behind a superhero who has no superpowers. She can see things a little bit in the future, although she can't control it. And
that's it.
Yeah, it's like you're not gonna beat up somebody because
cool.
Yeah, cool. I mean, it seems very impossible to me, but anyway, I don't think I'll see it again.
That sucks.
I feel sorry for Dakota Johnson.
She's a great actress. Suspiria. Have you guys seen that? She's phenomenal in that.
I haven't, but Paul Rudd's in it. Jessica, one of the girls from Euphoria is in it. The blonde with the tits. That's basically who she is. And then she hosts Saturday. She hosts
Tyson's post Me Too.
I never wanted to edit a show more.
She joked. She hosted Saturday Night Live like 2 weeks ago, and she made that joke herself.
Oh yeah, the blonde.
You know what I'm talking about now? Yes. Yeah, she's in it. And she's not. She's not bad.
Amazing.
Yeah, I know. It's a little vague, but if you know who I'm talking about, you're like, oh yeah, the one with the tits. I get it. Anyway, your mileage may vary, but in my humble opinion, your car will probably just break down halfway through the movie. Anyway,
would you say that's an unplug or a soft plug?
I would say that is an unplug. Because I do want it to be good. I did want it to be good.
Of course, yeah,
or at least decent.
You saw it in freaking IMAX, like.
Well, yeah,
it's not cheap.
Me and like 6 other people saw
IMAX. Ooh, yeah, it didn't do well in the box office.
And then we sat at the end, and my friend was like, "Are they gonna do something at the end? You know how they always do with Marvel?" I'm like, "Yeah, probably. I don't know. It's Sony, but we'll see what happens." And they didn't do anything. And then he started complaining about it loudly, and then other people joined in on the conversation. It was weird. So anyway,
that's funny.
So yeah, don't watch it until it's on FX ad nauseum. You can watch it on FX, but that's it. So, and I have some music stuff, but I'm gonna just cut it off right now. I'll move on to your plugs. So,
if you have some music stuff, go for it, Tice. Or do you want to collect it and talk about it later?
Yeah, let's talk about it next week. There's a lot. Okay. There's a lot of good stuff that came out in the last month or so.
Okay.
Not a problem. We'll proceed to my plugs, I guess. Then watched a couple of the Oscar nominees within the last couple of weeks. My favorite was American Fiction. Which I just really, really enjoyed, starring Jeffrey Wright. And basically the concept is he's a he's a black writer and keeps sort of coming into resistance that he's not being black enough in his writing and sort of efforts. And just, I had no idea what to expect, but just a really just goddamn funny movie. One of the funnier movies I've seen in a while. Really, really enjoyed it. Didn't know what to expect again. So if you get the chance, I don't know that I think it just started streaming within the last couple of weeks.
Yeah,
I think it's
in
still
the last couple of weeks.
I think it's still a rental, unfortunately. And I couldn't even find it, but we watched maybe one of you will recall the name of this, but it was the other Oscar movie about the World War II and the Holocaust.
Zone of Interest.
Zone of Interest. You know, it's a great movie, but it's just, and I mean that from like a filmmaker's like, this is something that should be observed behind a glass box and it's a gorgeous object of art. And it's like, yes, it is, but oh my God, it's just Oscar, like, just, you can just tell, like, it's trying way too hard to be like artsy and do like fade to reds and it's a good movie, but like it was just like there wasn't a whole lot of story there, and like I don't know, we're still kind of in this place. So I'm kind of rethinking it's a little bit of rethinking my own snobbery in regards to cinema, and that's like, yeah, this is like kind of an Oscar snobs movie. And so again,
I could see
it's a good movie.
Doing
it's
it.
It's a good movie. I mean, it's a good movie. It's worth watching. But it's just like there's just not that much to it. You just kind of walk around, all right, and watching Band of Brothers again, which is much better.
Now, is it like just a straight period piece, or do they really get into the whole situation? Because it's about a family that lives like next to Auschwitz, right?
Yeah, so it's basically this one of the main Nazis, a very successful Nazi. He's not your mid-tier normal Nazi. He's a rather go-getter, and basically they live next to the camps, and just it's sort of an examination of kind of their day-to-day life. I mean, it is an interesting juxtaposition, I think, and I think that's like, I'm sure that's what he's talking about, is like, how you sort of view, like, they're living this normal kind of family life sort of butted up against, like, this supreme horror of humanity happening like right down the road. And it's interesting from that perspective, but it is a very, like, it's just, I don't know. It's good. It's just, it just, like I said, it just begs like, oh my God, give me an Oscar. It's something a little annoying about that. But it's not the first time we've seen that. I mean,
there are tons of movies like that every year.
I think Crash invented that genre of the Oscar.
You might be right.
That's funny.
Yeah, where they're just like, we're going to do it for the award. So anyway, that's my plug. Other plug, and Dawson may have this on her list. I'm sure she was watching this the same time I was. The Quiet on the Set, The Dark Side of Nickelodeon.
Yes, that's on the list.
It is. We'll let you kind of talk about that a little more. But I enjoyed it. But I did have. I had some thoughts. So I'm gonna table that until you replug it. And so I did have one unplug. And that is a documentary series on the Max called The Truth About Jim. Have you seen this yet, Dawson?
Oh, I watched the first episode. Go on.
I thought it sucked.
It is terrible.
It's not good. Yeah, there's literally nothing there. Like, it goes into this whole premise of, like, was it her grandfather, I think, that was supposed to be anyway, the idea is it's like her grandfather, she thinks he's the serial killer. And the more you watch it, you're like, no, he's not.
They lead you to believe that he's this and he's not. And then it's just like, what are you left with? He was just a shitty grandpa. He's just a shitty person.
Right. And it's like, and I get it, like, she talks about, like, and she's obviously been through some trauma and abuse and stuff, but like, there's nothing, it's really bad. It's really bad. So I would stop at that.
It's just not well done. Like, it's just like,
that's the other thing too. Yeah. That's the other thing too. So yeah, big thumbs down on The Truth About Jim, because it's just
I'm glad
it's filled with a lot of promise, and it just, like, you just keep watching to be like, okay, are they going to prove that this is going to happen?
Is this documentary or is this a fiction?
It's a documentary.
Documentary series, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, within the last month. I will quickly plug real quick the Octopus Murders, which I think is on Netflix, and that was actually quite
need to
interesting.
Finish that. Okay.
Yeah, so that's another thing I would recommend quickly. But no, that's my plugs and my unplugs. So.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, I've got a few, so I'm gonna roll through these real quick. There is a food travel show on the Max called Chasing Flavor, and it stars Carla Hall, who is of Top Chef fame, and she's one of my favorite Top Chefers. Super cute. She travels all over the place, and really talks about like the history of America's favorite dishes. And she's great. She's just great with people. Every episode is dedicated to a certain thing. So like the first episode is ice cream. The second episode's like al pastor. They do a barbecue episode. Super cool. Very interesting. And then the Traders UK and Australia are awesome. I know that we've been on a Traders kick. You can see it streaming on the Cock. But it's great. And I really actually, this may bite me in the ass someday. And I apologize to Alan Cumming, who hosts the American version. But Roger and Claudia, who host the UK and the Australian ones, they're better hosts. And I never thought I'd say that, but great shows. I love it. We're obsessed with it. It's the only reality show I think that Jonas and I, other than cooking shows, have been that obsessed with ever. So yeah, I'm into it. Also, fun fact about the UK and Australian ones, they cuss. Like they just let the fucking F's and shits fly. And it's great. I'm a big fan of it. And then this is where you guys are going to be real proud of me. I saw Chopping Mall for the first time. Hey. Have you guys ever seen that?
Oh, nice. Long time ago. Yeah.
Dude.
Oh, yeah.
I watched it with my siblings while I was in Kirksville, and they hadn't seen it either. And that is just terrible in the best ways.
You know, it was the original name of that movie was not Chopping Mall.
No shit. What was it called?
I don't remember, but they came
because there's literally no chopping in it. It's just like robots with lasers.
Yeah, and so somebody in marketing came up with the term Chopping Mall. They rebranded the movie right before it went out, and that's what got people in the seats.
Wow.
They did an episode of How Did This Get Made about that movie, and I have seen that movie several times.
Okay.
And it's definitely worth listening to the podcast about that one. But yeah.
I may do that tomorrow.
Matt, have you seen that Chopping Mall?
Oh yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, there's a lot. I love it. It's got some weird characters. There's some 80s boobage going on, and then basically like Johnny Five, there's 3 of them, and they just kind of go around and kill everyone.
Actually, I just looked it up, and the original title was called Killbots.
Okay.
Killbots?
And then it didn't do well, and so they re-released it as a Chopping Mall, which apparently worked for us. So, on them.
It's a great name. There just is zero chopping in it. But that's fine. We laughed our asses off. I think one of the funniest kills was... it's spoiler, sorry, fast forward. But one of the robots shoots one of the, of course... hot blonde ladies, whatever, they're literally running around the mall in her underwear.
Right.
And the way that her head explodes is amazing. Tour de force. Yeah. Can't get enough of it. My brother, I mean, he giggled so hard. It was very cute. But yeah, I would check it out. Super fun. I hope to watch it with you, Tyson, and Smith at some point in life. And then I'm also going to plug Poor Things. I don't know how to describe it, Tice, you're right. And I don't think you should. I think you should just go into it with an open mind.
Yeah, just go cold. Yeah.
Because I was pissed because I hadn't seen it before the Oscars, and then Emma Stone beat out Lily Gladstone for the Oscar, because I am that bitch that watches the award shows. And I was like, there's no way that she did. 10 minutes into Poor Things, I was like eating my words. She's phenomenal in it.
She is.
It's and like Mark Ruffalo and Willem Dafoe too. Like they're just as good. Like it is high caliber acting. The art direction is crazy good. The story is weird, but it all kind of like comes together in this like beautiful way. I don't know. I loved it.
I liked I really liked and I can't I don't know what his name is. The guy that played her fiance before she went on the trip. I thought he was excellent. God. I can't remember his name.
Rami Youssef. He's a comedian. Yeah, and he's great. Yeah, he's really good.
He was very good. Matt, you need to watch that one. It's a good one.
Yeah, Smith, you should definitely watch it. For sure.
It is like, I guess I was just thinking about it. It's like it's like a Danny Elfman movie, but with way less whimsy and more like unbelievable. I don't know. It's hard to. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, there's definitely whimsy there, but
lots of whimsy.
It crashes down every time the whimsy happens. Like so it's like, this is a wonderful, amazing, and then it's just like boom, and you're like, oh shit, geez, okay.
It does do that, but then there are so many layers of like humor added to it, like you said, Tice. Like I was not expecting that. I think kind of carries the movie, like the storyline throughout the movie.
Yeah,
it's good. It's really good,
and she definitely deserved it. And I read I read something that said that the international voters don't have that feel for Native Americans like American voters do, so that was one of the reasons why she didn't get it.
That's what Jonas was saying too. Like, and she was only in it for like 11 minutes total.
Yeah, because she's in
it was like 3 hours long.
Yeah, she's in a coma for like a bunch of it.
Yeah,
I still haven't seen it, so I don't know. But I'm gonna watch it.
It's good. You should definitely watch it. But yeah, it's
just sounds like a chore. But I know
it's a little bit of a chore. Also, I heard that Scorsese's doing some show for Fox News now, and I'm like, I don't want to promote anything that he's fucking doing now. Is that? I don't know if that's true or not. I will follow up next week.
Doesn't he have a new kid to feed? No, みthat was.
They all do. I know De Niro does, and Pacino.
And Pacino, yeah.
Yep. Granddads. And then so Quiet on the Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV. Directed by two women. It is a docuseries that uncovers like really a lot of bad truths about Nickelodeon back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Shocker, there were multiple pedos on set working for Nickelodeon at various times. That was hard to stomach. There were a lot of things that were hard to stomach.
Yeah.
I don't know how much we want to talk about, Smith, but like overall, I was like, Nickelodeon, shame on you. You should have had more fucking like guidelines, like things set in place so that shit didn't happen. And fuck you, Dan Schneider, and your weird ass. Like the fact that guy was put on a pedestal with all of the stuff that he was doing is just... It wasn't as bad as like some of the guys, but like I guarantee he's like covering for it. He was also doing other weird shit. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it
bummed me out.
It's kind of yucky. Yeah, it's just kind of yucky. Yeah, it's just kind of. But then, like, what was weird too is a big part of it, and he's a big interview subject is Drake Bell.
Yeah.
And he's also a pedophile. Like so it's very, so it just leaves you kind of like, you don't get any conclusion or any good feelings whatsoever out of the whole thing. It's just like, and I know you can go through the whole cycle of abuse thing, but it's still like
just a circle jerk of nasty.
You're like a 30-year-old dude texting a 15-year-old girl, and like it's just really kind of. I mean, I wouldn't say
not
it's
to take away from. Yeah.
Yeah, like not to take away from like his abuse, because there are some very bad actors, but it was just like every aspect of it. I mean, it's definitely interesting. It's very well made. I'm sure Nickelodeon is not happy at all about it.
No, and they literally just like release this bullshit statement that they put on the end of every episode. And you're just like, wow, you guys aren't taking any responsibility for anything that happened. So
and it's just. Yeah, it's hard to end on pedophilia. It's a bad ending spot. You never want that to be the last.
There's a lot of misogyny. It's just gross all around.
It is. Yeah, it is really gross.
So Jughead is a pedophile? Is that true? Is that what you're saying?
Jughead.
I mean, didn't he play Jughead in the Archie show?
He may have.
I think he did that because I never heard of him before that. And I looked, and he was pretty good.
Well, I mean,
and I looked him up, and you know what his first role was? He was Ross and Rachel's Ross and Ross's ex-wife's baby. So wasn't he?
What?
Yeah, like wasn't he a twin? Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. The other thing I did find curious about it is that like no one successful appears on it. Like it's kind of like these people that like were only in it for like a year or two. And there is like a very, and I'll end my point on this is there is like a guy who goes away and is convicted. And a lot of really famous people write letters in support of this dude who is clearly a molester. And I don't remember. I mean, we're not talking like, Matt Damon level names, but but like there are a lot of like recognizable names.
There was like Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, right.
He was in there with it, and they actually, there's a little clip with him and Leo, and you're like,
and they've it's been kind of a news story the last couple of weeks, as a lot of those people came out and said, "Oh, we didn't know the facts at the time before we made the the statement and everything." So.
I actually am going to watch it. It's one of the.
You should watch it. I mean, we definitely recommend it. It's just not to choose a rainy kind of a somber day.
Yeah, if you're just feeling glum, put that on because you'll be like, well, this is fucking perfect.
At least you weren't a child star, Nickelodeon. Yeah.
That meme that I sent you guys where they're like, I had no idea that this was going on back in the 90s or whatever. And then it shows that like logo, the branding of Nickelodeon back in the day with the foot. I laugh so hard. I keep looking at it and I'm like, good on you. That's one of my favorite memes of the year. It's gross, but kind of says what needs to be said.
Yeah. You gotta think for feet.
Yeah. But yeah, those are my plugs. I did just want to say a quick thank you to everybody out there, because I think everybody knows at this point my mom passed away, and she was a big supporter of the show and these guys, and I hope I don't cry. I might. But she would haunt me if I didn't say thank you for all your support. It means a lot. So thank you.
Well, let me speak for America and say you're welcome.
Thank you, Tyson.
You're welcome.
But that is it. We have plugged and unplugged. Do you guys have anything else?
I think we've done our civic duty for the.
Yeah, I feel like we've
for the week.
I think people will be okay with this for another 7 days.
We need to get like an American flag banner in our backgrounds for the end of the show.
It's true, actually.
Maybe Tyson, you can put one up like right behind you and have the fan blowing on it.
Yeah, you know what we need is one of those things that you pull, it drops down behind you. It's like, like the American flag. Let me leave you with this thought, America. Buy war bonds where you bank or shop.
Amazing.
All right, nope. Good show. We will be back sooner rather than later. So
yes, we will. Hopefully next week. Maybe not. Smith, you're going to be in Denver, so
but I might be able to squeeze you guys in. So we're just going to be like not doing a whole lot.
So by the way, just real fast, if you do get a chance to see Slater-Kinney and Palehound, you should go see them. It was quite good. Palehound especially was they can change time signatures on a dime. I was like, whoa. And then so anyway, it was a really good show. But yeah, so if you get a chance to see them, you should. You guys are going to see Ministry, so take your earplugs. Don't forget.
Yes, take your earplugs.
Thank you, Tice, because Oh fuck! I don't know where my earplugs are at.
They are very loud.
Right.
You can get them at any gun store. I'm not kidding.
Jonas may have some. Our friends that we're going with, they definitely do too.
I've already packed a bunch, so I will have some extra.
Yay, Smith! Thank you. Okay.
They sell some that are supposed to be quite nice on Amazon, but they just look like shit to me. So I don't know. But anyway,
well, I may borrow some from Smith. I may order some. I'm looking at some now that don't look great.
Get yourself something nice.
Get yourself something nice, something to block the sound of grinding gears.
I went to some show last year that's got what is it, tinnitus or whatever. Like there's a little bit happening. So I gotta watch that shit.
Yep. Yeah, I've got tinnitus from seeing KMFDM in 1997. I know exactly when it happened. I went for 48 hours not being able to hear on my right ear. I was terrified.
Sure.
Don't do that. Yeah. So watch your ears, folks. You need them. Okay. You only get 2.
Okay, real fast. Loudest show you ever saw, Matt? KMFDM.
Yes, that was easily KMFDM with Rammstein. So
Jesus,
that's 1997. Yeah.
Dawson.
Literally every band at Ozfest 2002.
Okay.
Good answer.
Every band.
The loudest show I ever saw was Mighty Mighty Bosstones in 1996 with Hepcat opening for them.
No shit.
And I saw 4 shows that weekend. I saw the Lemonheads, Weezer. I saw
Mighty Mighty Bosstones are opening up for Weezer this year in Dinosaur.
Are they really?
They're doing their Blue Album tour.
Oh, I know. Yeah. They're not coming anywhere near here. By the way, I was like, God damn.
They're coming to Loveland, Colorado. Yeah. Just saying. October.
Yeah. Anyway, protect your ears, kids. Okay. America thanks you.
All right.
Leave you with that.
Bye. Hand wipe.
Yeah.